Hello. I apologize. I know it's been over a month since my last upload, considering my last video was an April Fool's video. And a lot of you probably haven't seen the Discord post or the community post linking the Discord post where there was a massive channel update. Hello again. I am Horse, or Zach is my real name. Hunter's Lodge, some people call me. So, I'm having one of those days where I have no interest in doing anything. I tried farming on PoE 2. I got bored, died a bunch of times, got upset. I thought about playing other games. Couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought about going to the shop, playing some Magic today. Couldn't bring myself to do it. So I figured if I'm going to sit here feeling like I want to do absolutely nothing, I might as well try and be productive. But there's a problem with that. I can't exactly be productive on a channel that I am shutting down. All production on Hunter's Lodge is ceasing immediately. Why, you might ask, if you're somebody who's enjoyed my content in the past. That rhymed, almost. There's a lot of reasons, unfortunately. A lot of reasons. And if you want, here's your TLDR. If you want a TLDR, and you don't want to hang out with me for 10 minutes in a video with no ads, here's your TLDR. Crytek is very anti-creative. They're anti-creator. They are very they've taken the heart out of the game. The Hunt is not the game that it was when I first started making videos for it over a year ago. They cease and desist artists for selling Hunt content, like Hunt fan art. The Hunt community, as a large, has a lot of bad eggs in it, including other YouTubers who have screwed me over and used me for views. The Hunt Showdown subreddit, the official subreddit, removes all my posts, and those are mods, from my knowledge, appointed by Crytek. So, along with all of those things, and my videos progressively getting less and less views, but despite me putting more and more effort into them, I've decided that not only because I don't even play Hunt anymore, so TLDR, Crytek doesn't want me here. The game doesn't want me here. The community, a lot of them, most of them, I would say, don't want me here. So, why am I here? Plus, I have a full-time job with mandatory overtime that drains me, and I have complex regional pain syndrome in my hands. So it physically hurts to edit videos. Why put myself through all of that when I'm not even wanted? So, yeah. All production on Hunter's Lodge is ceasing immediately. I don't know what to do in my life anymore, but I'd like to go in a lot more detail. If you want to hang out with me for 10 minutes and just spend some time with me as a friend while I go through my confessional here, I would greatly appreciate it, because there's a lot that I can discuss, and it might give you some insight on what it's like trying to make videos in a community that doesn't necessarily want you. So, I guess we'll start with, there's no script, by the way, if you couldn't tell. There's no script today. I just had a basic outline, and I'm not even looking at it right now. I'm just looking at you, my friend. Why did I start making Hunt videos? Well, I had casually played Hunt with some friends, and I noticed that what's the word? The blood bond changes. I noticed the blood bond changes were coming through, and I actually did the math, and I looked into it. I invested myself into some research, and I completely supported Crytek removing the infinitely grindable free premium currency. So I made a video defending Crytek. I had people calling me the worst things known to humankind, and I had people telling me that I was the only logical person they'd seen in the space. It was a mix, but that was one of the first videos I ever had that got over 1,000 views. So I was like, oh my god, it's happening! So I figured, alright, fuck, I've tried to make videos for the last 8 years. through the course of many channels, even as a kid. They're terrible, all terrible. Don't look for them. But I figured, well, maybe this is the time to dive on in fully. So I invested myself into making hunt videos. I tried to be more creative, focus on more of a talking aspect, because bear in mind, I'm a guy with self-described cripple fingies. So it's really hard for me to play games, and I'm really bad at hunt. So people don't really want to see my gameplay. I focused more on what I called the hunt thought space, talking about different ideas I had on how to improve the game, talking about issues in the community that I had seen, trying to give voices to people's opinions on a bigger platform, giving it an appreciation for the artistic focus of Hunt, making appreciation for the hundreds and hundreds of hours that the artists have invested in Hunt Showdown's world, in the environmental storytelling that they have on each compound on an individual level. It's incredible. And the written lore of Hunt, incredible. And the music, the sound design, down to the very steps of your feet. Everything in the game that I wanted to appreciate, I was trying to give other people an appreciation for. But it took a long time, and we did find some success here. I had like 8 patrons, like 5 or 6 members. Fucking love you guys. You guys gave me hope, along with the folks in the Discord that didn't give me money necessarily, but were just there, with me, by my side. You all made me feel like this was possible. This was a dream I had that could happen. And it inspired me to no end. I had these creative bouts. I would lay in my bed at night thinking of all these different cool and unique video ideas that I could make. I lost sleep making videos as fast as I could. I gave up my personal health to make more videos. I worked on these all entirely by myself 99% of the time with my hand issues, while working full time with overtime for so long. And all of that effort, constantly innovating, hours and hours and hours and hours of content, with the most, I would say, unique hunt content in the space. Barely any gameplay involved. I made a grand total of $400. And that was only because one awesome gentleman donated $100 on one of my live streams to celebrate the new event. So, $400. I say this with no malice involved at all. I have personally invested over $1,000 into this channel between subscriptions to music services, my video editing software, paying for ads on a couple of videos that I thought would do really good, commissioning artists for assets and for designs that I use in the videos. I spent a lot. I supported a lot of artists. I put in a lot of commissions, which I don't regret, by the way. I love that I could support artists in the community so much. I paid above. I actually paid more than what people were asking for quite a few times. Not to brag. I want you to understand that I have this massive appreciation for the art in the game and the people that make art in the game and in the community. And I want them to feel like they matter. So, the amount of money I made from the channel was barely a drop in the bucket based on what I'd spent. And I evaluated. Well, let's take a look back and see how everybody else felt about my content. Other YouTubers didn't like me. I wasn't a gameplay guy. Some of them didn't mind me. Some of them did like me and tried to collaborate with me. A couple, like two YouTubers, max. I reached out to a ton of people to try and collaborate with them, and they weren't interested, which is fine. I eventually got a few YouTubers together, Peebnewt, Noara, other YouTubers' name is on the screen. They collaborated with me on the Jeopardy video, and it was awesome. Sorry, there's like a squirrel on my wall. The Jeopardy video was the creme de la creme of my videos. It was the absolute peak of what I considered my content to be. It was a unique video. I actually collaborated with other hunt YouTubers, and it didn't do well. That's a video I paid for ads on as well, and it didn't matter. So, and prior to that, I had focused on very artistic videos, like Exploring Hunt, a video that is literally impossible to make now because Crytek is so anti-creator. They've removed all of the creator-friendly tools in the game. You used to be able to hide your HUD so you could record cool footage. They removed that. You used to be able to free roam in the maps so that you could record footage. They removed that. They got rid of reshade for entirely balanced purposes, and I get that. I was supportive of that, but that was also a tool for content creators. I got copyright striked by Crytek for using Port Sulfur Band music, the in-game music, in one of my videos. And they did remove it after like a week. But the fact that I even got that strike in the first place? Really? I had a fella from the VFX department in Crytek reach out to me on Discord to personally apologize for something that wasn't his fault at all, and tell me that he reached out to his management in the VFX department to try and help me out with that copyright strike. That's how insane it is. The people at the top versus the people at the bottom, they have no idea what's going on. And we even had David Fifield himself personally comment on a few of my videos with his personal account. That was really cool to see. But then I criticized the game a little bit, and he stopped commenting. So, the Hunt Showdown subreddit. Yeah, let's keep diving into this community aspect of it. The Hunt Showdown subreddit. They removed my posts. They personally remove my posts. I don't know if it's somebody on the mod team or what. I tried to reach out to the mod team, and they stopped responding to me. But I cannot post on that subreddit without my posts getting removed. They either get auto-modded for no reason, or they get personally removed by a mod, and I do not get an auto-mod message. But either way, I am not allowed to post any of my videos on that subreddit, but other YouTubers are allowed to, whenever they want. Isn't that great? Makes you really feel appreciated. Another YouTuber. I'm not going to say his name. Those in my community know who he is. I put out a video saying, like, hey, what the heck's going on with the Hunt Showdown community? He had a really lengthy essay-level response that he wanted to comment on the video. And he tried numerous times to comment on the video, and for some reason, his comment kept getting removed. So I reached out to him, and he reached out to me. I troubleshooted it for like 3 hours with him, trying to figure out why the heck does his comment keep getting removed. I even offered to comment his comment, take it, copy it, word for word, in quotes, and paste it under my video, pinning it so everyone could see it, and discussing what was happening and who that comment was from, so they could see his opinion on my video. He declined and completely ignored my offer to help him out, and instead told me he was just going to make his own response video. His response video got a decent amount of views, stirred up a little controversy, and his community ended up berating me a little bit. So he got what he wanted. I reached out to him, and I offered to have him on my podcast so that we could talk about the whole thing, discuss it, and ice it over. He told me he would love to be on the podcast. And then for the next 3 months, every time I reached out to him, he just left me on red. He would not respond. So he got what he wanted out of me. He got some views, a little controversy, engagement, and then he tossed me to the side. I even posted his videos, links on my community page in my Discord, and told people to go support him. Even though he didn't agree with me and people were berating me in his comments, I still supported him where I could. And that was the largest interaction I had had with another YouTube content creator in the hunt space, was him fucking me over. So it's cool, you know, that by the way, if it wasn't obvious, he was removing his own comment. He was posting the comment and removing it himself to stir up a controversy there in farm engagement. I live on a mountain in New York. with barely over 2,000 subs. I don't understand why I have to have that little controversy for no reason. I just want to talk about the game that I love. I don't get why I have to get fucked over for no reason. What did I do? I just want to make cool stuff. I want to make unique stuff that I'm very proud of. My podcast, for example, Between the Hunt, the only long-running community-based Hunt Showdown podcast that exists. I gave voices to dozens of unique hunters like you. Regular, everyday people who have never said anything, never made content, anything like that. Just regular people that work a 9 to 5 and then they play hunt in their free time. I would offer them a seat, a microphone, and I would let them speak their mind. I would make them, for just an hour or two, the most important hunter in the bayou. And I've never been more proud of that. Offering a voice and a platform to so many people, regardless of microphone quality, regardless of MMR, hours in the game, everybody had a chance to be on my podcast and tell people how they felt. And that is something I'm so very proud of, because it's really easy in the hunt community to feel like you don't have a voice. Crytek doesn't reach out to people and work out with their community. They don't interact with you. Very recently, they've had a developer insight video with some of their Crytek partners, their inner circle of content creators, the very few, where they talked about how to make hunt dollars in the game. That's the furthest they do. They aren't reposting Twitter posts about the game, people talking about the things they love or hate. They aren't sharing stories that people have with other players in the space. They barely interact with us at all, if ever. The communication we've had in the last 6 months with the developer insight videos is the most we've ever had. And it's barely anything. So, you're isolated from the people that make the game that you love in the community that you're in. You're isolated from them. This is my circumstance. You're isolated from them. They copyright claim one of your videos. Their own subreddit removes all your posts. Prominent YouTubers in their, like a prominent YouTuber in their space, fucks you over. A lot of the community doesn't like your type of videos because they're not gameplay, they're creative. And thought-provoking, discussing different issues, and trying to come up with solutions instead of complaining. You don't get a lot of views. Your growth is very slow, steady, but very slow. And you end up losing money on the investment and a lot of time, and it physically hurts you to make those videos entirely by yourself. What do? I kept increasing the scope of everything I was working on. I kept telling myself, if I keep working hard enough and coming up with more unique and creative things, it'll pay off for me. I will feel more welcomed in the community. Other YouTubers will finally want to collaborate with me when I reach out and they just don't respond or tell me no. People will stop acting like I'm the worst person ever because I have a different opinion than them. But no, it just gets worse and worse and worse. The company that makes the game removes the lore. They remove all the content that you love in the game. They waste millions of dollars on a crossover with people that have nothing to do with the game to begin with. The heart of the game. They make it more Call of Duty-ified and you no longer even enjoy the gameplay much. So you focus on the artistic aspect and they remove the artistic aspects of the game. It's clear that regardless of the direction that Crytek has for Hunt, it is not a direction that includes me. They want people that just post gameplay videos every day. The consistent gameplay slop and Nothing else. They don't support artists, they don't support creatives, and they don't support me. Maybe one day they'll add a single content creator friendly tool to the game, whether it be custom lobbies, free roam mode, which we used to have, the HUD removal feature, which we used to have. Any of these things so that I can finally go back and continue exploring Hunt, my favorite series I've ever made, where I got to showcase all of the environmental storytelling that your wonderful artists put into your game with their heart and their soul to make a world that we get to hunt in. And maybe one day you'll add those tools and I'll come back and I'll make more stuff. But until then, I am tired of being the punching bag. I don't have it in me anymore. I'm not welcome here, and I shouldn't be here. So I'm ceasing all production on Hunter's Lodge. And it breaks my heart. I didn't want to make this video. I just wanted to make my community post and be done with it, but then I realized so many of you weren't going to see the video. So, yeah. I'm done. Because I'm still proud of them, even though I don't deserve to show you unfinished content, I'm going to put 2 videos at the end of this video. It was a video I had talking about the removal of revive bolts, and a video talking about the lore of the Deadly Twins. And I'll put the unfinished videos at the end of this just so you could see them if you'd like. And I would also, if you give me a moment, I'd like to talk about 2 projects I was working on with some awesome people in the background so that you can be aware of them. I'm not going to give you all of the details because I might still end up working on these in the future, but basically, in the background, I've been working on 2 of the largest projects I've ever done in my life. One of them was going to be called the Summer Hunt Games. It was going to be a contest with anybody available to enter in the shooting range, involving a speed test, involving a series of different tests for each person to record recording their footage, while me and another judge view them, commentate over it, like it's a full-on sports event. And it was going to be so much fun. We were going to have instructional videos telling people how to go about their contest day, how to prepare, the rules, and it was going to be awesome, and I was going to put more money into that. Just like I did with my community month for my banner contest, where I offered artists the ability to make a banner for Hunter's Lodge, and the winner got $200 out of my pocket. It was going to be another $200 out of my pocket situation with the winner of that contest. It was going to be a lot of fun. And then the second project, this one I'm very proud of. I was building several teams of volunteers in the background, as well as trying to commission several artists with hundreds of my own dollars to essentially make a pseudo-fake event for Hunt. We were going to have a huge focus on the lore. We had I assembled a lore team where we were all writing lore for this fake event. We were going to make a website for this event. And it was going to be this incredible story-driven experience. We were going to create so many different gameplay mechanics to introduce. It was going to be, while being a fake event, the idea of it was going to be the coolest fucking thing ever. With new hunters and new guns, along with in-game model art, along with full-on hunter art, with multiple artist depictions of what these hunters would look like. We were going to bring back a ton of weather events from Hunt's past. It was going to be an actual celebration of Hunt's history and growth, all coalescing in this massive storyline, bringing back tons of hunters to this incredible event with a website to display all of the lore, all the art, all the ideas, and a trailer for the fake event that I was going to make myself. And these were just some of the projects that I was working on in the background in this game I love so much. That a game where I don't feel welcome by the people who make the game or the community that surrounds it. I'm heartbroken, but there's nothing I can do to change anything. So, if you ever supported the Lodge or watched any of the videos, listened to any of the podcasts on your way to work, while you were driving, while you were doing your homework, working out, just whatever. If you ever commented on one of my videos, even if it was a negative comment, I can't thank you enough. You made my life better. I have never been more proud of something than I have of this channel in my entire life. I told my family about this channel. I showed my mom your comments. My own mama. I showed her your comments. This woman that knows barely anything about games, nothing about Hunt at all. She bought me a Hunt Showdown shirt for Christmas because she was so proud of my channel. She wanted to see more of your comments. She would watch a few of my videos not knowing what the hell I was talking about. But that is a connection with my mother that I didn't have in my life, that I have because of you guys. So, thank you. I'll tell you a little story before I sign off. My dad got his leg amputated, and I left work early. I got written up for that to go see him before visiting hours ended. And I went there, and we were shooting the shit, talking about whatever, with my mom there as well. And one of my videos had recently popped off, gotten like 4,000 views, and I was showing him the comments. In his hospital bed. I was so happy to show him that thing that I was working on. And he was happy for me too. He told me, like, Zach, you touched people. That's really cool. People feel like you made a difference in their lives with the things you make. And that is an experience that will never leave me to this day. So, from the bottom of my heart, Hunters, thank you for being a part of this over a year-long journey at Hunter's Lodge. It's not goodbye forever. One day, things may change. The game may get back to its roots, the things that made it incredible. The creators of the game might make content creator-friendly tools, or actually support the artists and the creators in their community that strive to stand out from the crowd and make something else. Maybe one day, the community will have some different sentiments and things will change. But until then, thank you for everything. I can't thank you enough. You were a godsend, an angel in my life, and a true blessing to have in my lodge. Stay blessed. Howdy Hunters, today I will be regaling you the tale of the bloodthirsty twins. A pact forged in blood. Two sisters, their fates changed forever, and their stories yet unwritten. There are worse tales in Hunt Showdown, and deep within the lore there are horrible things yet untold, but I have a very strong feeling toward this story, and I think you might too. So enjoy yourself as I regale you of the tale, and subscribe for more. The 1800s, a brutal century in the States.
Crime is rampant as those trapped in the desert towns of the country struggle to make a living and survive. Here in Louisiana, two sisters toil over their forge, their hammers striking the molten metal, shaping thoughts into reality with each swing. Their young hands already calloused from years of tutelage from their uncle and father figure who taught them the ways of smithing. The twins had worked another day's labor and were ready to rest. They wiped their hands of rust and soot, headed to their kitchen, nothing but food and rest on their minds. Until suddenly, the Lord turned the other way. In front of them, unknowing of their presence, was a tall, grisly figure, attempting to catch his breath as he stood bloodied over his prey. The girls locked eyes with the mangled corpse of their uncle, the man who'd been their father for years. His head split in two with an axe. Blood and matter spread clear up the wall. This figure, fury in his eyes, hadn't caught their gaze yet. The girls did not think. Whether it was years of hardship, the loss of their parents, weeks of endless labors toiling over a stoked blaze, shaping weapons and tools, whatever the reason, their hearts had long been cold. Retreating to their forgery, each sister grabbed a weapon of choice. Joe's readied herself a sledgehammer, and Finn grabbed her uncle's crossbow off the wall, fixing an arrow she made herself that very day. The twins took to the shadows of their house, their storied home turf, lurking where sight would fail most perceptive of men. They encircled the man who'd laid waste to their father, still heaving for air, his previous struggle showing as he leaned against his axe, gaining his composure. As it happened, both sisters called out the only question on their minds at the same damn time. The only thought the two of them could muster between the confusion, the anger, and their objective. What is your name? The man caught off guard blinked himself aware and with a rough wooden voice sealed his fate. William Durrett. A blood pact was forged between these sisters when Joe's sledgehammer splintered William's spine and Finn placed her arrow square between his eyes. Before them lay their only family left in this cruel world, his blood now joined by his murderers, staining the cold stone floor a crimson red. The sisters spoke no words for days. They spent the entire evening and in the morning cleaning the blood off the stone. Once they'd cleaned the mess, they hucked both bodies into the fire at their forge, and forged two knives together to symbolize their pact, a knife for each twin, which they would hold for their entire lives, forged over the burning logs of their family tree. The twins buried their minds in their work, only allowing themselves to remember their uncle with a shot of his whiskey every night, till the bottle ran dry, thus ending their mourning. Dutiful is the work of one with nothing left to distract them after all. With no family, and nothing to their name but their uncle's blacksmithery, they dedicated themselves to their forge. The local lawman paid them no mind his cursory investigation revealing that their actions were self-defense, a crime of passion in defense of their uncle, no charges to be filed. Video games have existed since the creation of Tennis for Two by William Higginbottom in the year 1958. And 2 decades later, the first online multiplayer game, multi-user dungeon, hit dial-up like a storm in 1978. Since the inception of multiplayer connectivity in video games, our concerns have brushed well beyond the issue of bandwidth, peer-to-peer stability, and the availability of an expensive personal computer in your home. Nowadays, the main concern of these avid multiplayer gamers is the issue of balance. A concept as old as time. Two objects of equal weight on opposite sides of a suspended board, holding it completely still with a precise distribution of weight. This is balance in the literal scientific sense, but for gamers it takes on a much more broad definition. For us, balance is how much true damage a dairy assault needs to do for it to be considered fair. Balance is which guns are blessed with the coveted one-shot kill to the body in any tactical shooter. Balance is how much card advantage one can amass in a card game, or how cheap an item is to purchase from the shop, or how far attackers spawn from defenders,
Or how much money Matsumosa makes if he can actually spawn near fucking desert tiles and not a goddamn rainforest every time like when I play. True balance is probably impossible. For a truly balanced game, every character at your disposal would need to be essentially the same character numbers-wise as everybody else. This would just be boring. The original Street Fighter was boring. Everybody was just Ryu and it sucked. If your characters look different, or your weapons all look different, but fundamentally function the exact same, this might be balance, yes, but it's not exciting. You've already seen everything your enemies can do by using your own kit in the lobby before you get to them. So we keep things unique and different instead. We can't achieve true balance, but we can try to get damn near close. But what is a developer to do when something becomes unbalanced? Well, you nerf it into the ground. You take the high damage numbers and you lower them. You take the low cooldowns and you increase them. You strip away the strengths of something and typically you try to compensate in other areas so it doesn't become completely useless compared to the competition. Or in the case of Crytek, you could take the Hunt Showdown route and completely remove it from the game. As of March 26th, Revive Bolts have been permanently removed from Hunt Showdown for the foreseeable future. They've described the decision as difficult, one that they did not want to make. The player base at large has been celebrating since then, but I've just been sad. I've unironically reached to go put Revive Bolts on a hand crossbow at least 4 times just to remember that they're gone and get sad. Other games like League of Legends are no stranger to removing items. Dozens have been tossed in the abyss over the years. It's never off the table for something to be removed from League of Legends. But for a game like Hunt, this is unprecedented. Every time something has been a fundamental issue in Hunt, it was tweaked. It was nerfed.